Hello, folks on YouTube land. Stu Myrick here, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. We missed last week because, as I mentioned last week, Justin had some play-by-play duties upcoming, so he had to prepare for that. So that's why we didn't do last week, because it was just me by myself and a couple of interviews. So didn't think that would be great viewing for the YouTube land. So we're back this week. Justin is on his way. Couple things. Number one, our first segment is already in the can. Last Friday, I had a great conversation with Jay Lethal, the one half, the current Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, as well as the franchise. He's former world champion, TV champion. He is currently in the Ring of Honor Pure Championship Tournament. And so we had a great conversation. So you will hear that on the Horn tomorrow and on the podcast when it comes out. If you would like to see the video, we're going to try to be done by 9:30 Central, 9:30 p.m. Central tonight. The video will premiere on our YouTube channel at 9:30 tonight, 9:30 p.m. Central. So make sure you stay tuned to our channel, and you will see my conversation. You know, the wonders of Zoom, as we like. You will see the conversation that I had with Jay Lethal. So, yeah, it was fun. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. We talked about the tournament. We talked about the prospects of him facing his tag team partner, Jonathan Gresham, in the finals, because they are on opposite sides of the bracket. So there is that possibility. And we talked about stuff like, some of the projects he was doing during quarantine and, different things. So we talked a little bit about philosophy of wrestling. So it was a great conversation. It's a long segment. So the other two segments for the radio show are going to be kind of short. And we will do a podcast only segment. You'll see it, but we will save our Clash of Champions preview and my feelings on last night's Raw for the podcast only segment. Mainly because I've been in radio for a little over 10 years, and one of the first things you learn is, no matter what, whenever you have a microphone in front of you, you don't cuss, because you never know if it's going to be live or not. Last night, after watching last night, that's why I wanted to save it for the podcast only segment. That way, on the off chance that I do let out some semblance of profanity, at least it's not going to end up tomorrow night going over the Austin airwaves on the Horn, and we get in trouble and all that good stuff. It's no big deal if it goes out on the podcast. So I will tell you now, it's not good. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for that, because good Lord, there's so much. There's just so much. So we will talk about I was at Hell Hath No Fury from Mission Pro Wrestling Friday night at Pinball's Kingdom in Buda. Great turnout and a fantastic card. It was good to be back there. I mentioned I did a little Facebook Live from there, and I mentioned that. Actually, no, I didn't. Did I? I don't remember. Anyway, but I told Joe Galley was there, our good friend who's news report in San Antonio, but also is the voice of the NWA. And I let him know that, 4 years ago, we saw the 10 pounds of gold defended there regularly with Godzilla Jack Stain. And we talked about that for a bit. So it was good. It was good. We'll give you the first bit of results from the G1 Climax, New Japan. Just started, so not a whole lot going on. Both blocks have seen action at least now, so we can tell you at least who's on the winning side right now. Again, the tournament runs through mid-October, so Still got a ways. They've each block has completed one match, so still got a ways. Let's see what else. Not a whole lot. It's by the way, I'll say this now: our thoughts, our prayers, our hopes go with everybody on the Texas coast. Tropical Storm Beta, which made landfall last night and has been just pouring rain all over the south, all over southeast Texas, Houston area. I mean, they were showing video today on the Weather Channel. Parts of I-610, just with 5, 6, 7 feet of water standing on it. And there's going to be more rain because that storm is not moving very fast. Last advisory I saw was it's only moving at like 4 or 5 miles an hour, so it's going to creep. There's not as much wind. It's down to a tropical depression now, but it's just the rain, the just pounding with rain, and there's obviously the danger of flooding. So, again, all of our thoughts with everybody down there. It looks like it did kind of miss Corpus Christi, Port Aransas, Rockport. It missed that place, so it looks like those people are doing okay. So yeah, it's we'll think about them. Say a prayer for them. As our late dear friend Sean Adams, when you hit your knees, say a prayer for him tonight. See, yeah, we've got a pay-per-view this weekend, Clash of Champions, Gold Rush. So we'll make our picks on that. Not to mention we've got and it's been a while since we've had this kind of list, but our this weekend in independent wrestling, we've got a full slate. It's great to see. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and I got to look this up, because I've got 4 cards noted right now. Let me see if I don't think they'd be running this weekend, but let's see. Oh, they are. They are. So I got to add them. Let's add them right now while I'm thinking about it. I assume they're still running. I haven't. Because this was a post as of an hour ago. Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance. So it looks like they're gonna be going. So excuse me for a moment while I do this. It's actually going to be Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance and Puro Pinche Wrestling. I hope I said that right. So little on the fly editing, and so yeah. I guess I can let you guys know it's this Saturday, Valencia Event Center in Corpus, a drive-in event. Okay. Let's see. Saturday at Valencia Center in Corpus Christi. Let's see. Bell time is 7:30 p.m. Central. Yeah, I already mentioned once, but do you know? Hammerstone's going to be there, the current MLW Openweight champion. Jasmine Allure. The current AAPW Women's Champion. And more. So there we go. So we got that one down, I think. But yeah, at least as far as they say, it's still a happening. Kiefer Bartek's going to be there, and Dill Dempsey. There we go. All right. So we got that. All right, good. So 5 events. 5 events this weekend. It has been a while since we've seen that kind of activity on the independent scene here in the state of Texas. It's good to see, though. Needless to say, I'm thrilled. That means guys and girls are getting booked. That means fans are getting some live professional wrestling. So that's always a good thing. We say it every week. Support independent wrestling, no matter where you are, even if you're outside of the state of Texas. I saw a thing this week that AAW, I think it's All American Wrestling, AAW though, Danny Davis and their crew, they're getting ramped back up in Illinois with some events. So it's good to see them coming back. Of course, GCW's been back for a while. We're seeing the stuff from the United Wrestling Network and the NWA. They've got episode 2 tonight, which includes our friend Gentleman Jervis. Jervis is going to be on, and I think this is the one where they're going to have Thunder Rosa taking on Priscilla Kelly. Priscilla Kelly challenging for the NWA Women's World Championship, so that'll be a good one. Let's hope they get the streaming fixed. Last week, I watched that first episode, and wow, the streaming, it needed help. It was buffering. It kept, just kept stopping and starting, and it would skip ahead, skip behind. It was awful. And I talked to Joe Galley because he's the commentator on there, and he had heard it, and I said, yeah, it was pretty bad. He goes, well, I think we got it fixed. I said, all right, well, good. So, let's see what else. That's about it. We got late night tonight. AEW. So they taped that 1 hour, kind of a 1 hour Dynamite, Virgin Dynamite, to run. I forget what the deal was. But I guess it was in case they got knocked off of Wednesdays again because of the NBA playoffs. But as luck would have it, they're going to be on Wednesday. They're going to be on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, TNT. So they're taking that 1 hour and just showing it after. Which game is tonight? You would think I'd know because I am, I work in sport. I don't cover basketball that closely. So who's playing tonight? I know it's playoffs. I want to say it's an Eastern Conference game. There's a way for ESPN to pull it up. Let's see. Okay, fine. You're not going to cooperate. Let's see if the NBA will cooperate and tell me. But yeah, they've got a game tonight on TNT. So the 1 hour Dynamite is going to air following the game. See, tonight is Lakers Nuggets. Okay, I was wrong. It's Western Conference. Game 3. Unless I'm mistaken, this is the Western Conference Finals. Yes, and LA leads 2-0. So that game tips off in about 15 minutes. So once that game finishes, a 1 hour version of AEW Dynamite with Chris Jericho on commentary, which is always a hoot. Where's Justin? Let's see. All right, so yeah, good. So those if you're watching the video, you see the banner behind me. So besides wrestling, of course, I do other stuff, and one of those things is Longhorn Lowdown. It's a podcast. Myself and 2 former Longhorn players, Todd Hunt and Stevie Lee. Todd played defensive line back when I was on campus, in fact. So he comes from my era. Stevie Lee, a little bit younger, played for Mac Brown, also defensive line. And so last night we taped an episode with John Bianco, who's the senior associate AD at Texas for media relations, which was it was odd because Todd asked for that one, and I found out why, because John has a great relationship with all the different players because of the way they he helps them out when they have to talk to guys like me, And so I was ending the podcast, giving out our social medias, and Stevie has two different handles for Twitter and Instagram, and I always get them mixed up, but apparently I got it right last night. So Stevie was letting me know. So that's good. I'm glad I got it right. So let's see. Well, Justin, where are you? I'm gonna text him. But yeah, if you're interested, check that out. We talked to legends. We talked to absolute legends. In fact, tomorrow night we're taping an episode with Roy Williams, the Longhorn wide receiver, great, played in the NFL. And we're going to catch up with him, see what he's up to and his story and stuff. And we had Eric Metcalf recently. In fact, we had him the night before it was announced that he is one of the nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for this coming year's class. So the great timing on that. We talked to Tim Crowder, who was a great defensive end at Texas during those championship years. Talked to Doug English, a good friend of mine, who Longhorn legend, College Football Hall of Fame, played with the Lions for so many years. Who else did we talk to? Derek Johnson, who one of the best linebackers to come out of Texas. Talked to Brian Jones, the last Longhorn player to wear number 60 for a full season. Before number 60 belongs to Tommy Nobis, and of course a media colleague of mine, now works for CBS Sports. So anyway, let's see if. All right. You on your way? Question mark. Send. All right, we'll see. Let's see if he's going. So anyway, so that's so check that out. Longhorn Lowdown. It's on podcast. We also have a YouTube channel. All you gotta do is search Longhorn Lowdown, and it's also also on Twitter and Instagram at Longhorn Lowdown. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. If you're a fan of college football, and especially a fan of the Texas Longhorns, we have some good conversations, a lot of fun conversations. So let's see. Tell you what, while we're waiting on young Mr. Simmons, what else? What else do I got? Oh, yeah, I don't know if you heard about this, and I think this came out from John Alba, our good friend at Spectrum Sports down in Tampa and Orlando. Apparently, there are reports, again, this is innuendo, but reports that a number of NXT wrestlers tested positive for COVID-19. Does not give any names, apparently. WWE has not commented publicly, but looks like at least a minor outbreak there at the Performance Center. From what I read, several training classes had to be postponed, and everybody had to leave the Performance Center. So yeah. And there he is. He didn't get lost. I always get worried when we have to skip a week because of this, that, or the other. But he did make it, carrying his bag. His hair's getting long. Hi, Justin. Your hair's getting long. It has been pretty long. I just got mine cut. So.
Shouldn't have done it.
No, I needed to, because if I don't.
Shouldn't have done it.
No, because if I don't, my ball caps don't fit right.
You don't know that?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do, because when it does grow, because the back of my hair, the backside, it gets really thick. I've always had really thick hair, and my head's not small. I have a large head, not metaphorically, actually physically. So it's hard to wear ball caps anyway, and having that thick hair in the back just makes it even harder. So, plus I like it shorter. So, I still kept the beard though. Got the beard too. So, how you been?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Busy.
Good. Well, good. Well, we'll get going. As I was telling the folks, segment 1's in the can. I had a 30-minute long conversation with Jay Lethal.
Nice.
It was really good and really enjoyable. Talked about what he was doing during quarantine. Of course, he's in the Pure Championship tournament for Ring of Honor. The prospects of him facing Jonathan Gresham, his tag team partner. So,
well, he is a consummate professional. I mean, the guy's been at this for almost 2 decades now.
Yes. Yeah, he's called the franchise for a reason. So, so that'll be the first segment. And as I mentioned, the video will premiere tonight at 9:30 p.m. Central. So we're going to try to get out here by 9:30, and then stay tuned. You can watch that. So, we'll start with segment 2. As I mentioned, I'm saving the WWE stuff for the podcast only segment in case certain language has to be used.
I was going to say on whose part. I don't know. I might not have hated it as much as you have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't. So, all right, let's get going.
This is Juice Robinson, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the horn. Stu Myrick, joined by my tag team partner, Justin Smash Simmons.
How's it going, Stu?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Did the play-by-play stuff go okay?
It went okay.
Yeah.
I mean, man, we don't have enough time to get into all of
That's okay.
all the stuff that I would like to touch upon that.
The Jay Lethal segment went long, so we're going to try to blow through these 2 segments on air. We will save the Clash of Champions preview and some other WWE stuff for a podcast-only segment coming up. Friday, I was at Mission Pro Wrestling down there at Pinball's Kingdom in Buda. Lot of nostalgia from when we were there 4 years ago for Pro Wrestling Texas.
I was going to say very familiar with the place.
We're very familiar. It was good to be there again. I ran into Joe Galley, who is of course, the voice of the NWA right now, and our good friend that works, news reporter in San Antonio.
Wonder who had the shorter drive. You or him?
I think me, but it wasn't. It was, it was kind of a close call.
I'm like, well, Austin, you're not like on the south side of Austin.
I'm not, but I don't
so
know where.
So it's pretty far.
I don't know where. I don't know what part of San Antonio Joe's coming from. So
that's true.
Yeah, but it was good to see him. We talked about, back in the day when Godzilla Jack's Dane would defend the NWA World Heavyweight Championship there. Mm-hmm. How you and I got to call those matches.
Yeah,
it was got to see another NWA World title defended as Thunder Rosa faced Lindsay Snow. Hell of a match. Great match. I mean, it just seems to me Thunder Rosa gets better and better and better and better and better. And just she is quickly becoming one of the hottest wrestlers on the on the scene right now.
I guess my only question is what's taken so long for everybody else to notice? Because she's put in the work this whole time.
She has.
She always puts in the work.
Yeah.
From the first time we've interviewed her to the last time we've interviewed her, like her career has just like morphed by leaps and bounds, but the talent was always there. That's just it. Like it's kind of befuddling because a lot of this stuff that she does to me isn't new because I've seen a lot of it.
Right. Yeah. And what I said was kind of it's not so much that she's getting better in the ring. She's always been really good in the ring. It's just now more people are noticing, which is good. Which is great, and we all know there are those. Sometimes you got to find that moment when you get noticed. We forever. Saw it with, Keith Lee. I think we knew when he got noticed. But guys like, say, who am I thinking?
Let's just say
Christy James, another one. She's gotten better and she's starting to get noticed.
I was really thinking about Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it was just one of those things where it's
absolutely.
like, whoa, I've seen this guy many times,
yeah.
but it's like he's really good, but I don't know if everybody else is going to buy it, and everybody did. You just never know what's going to work.
Yeah, I ran across a match from Inspire when we were still at the Red Oak Ballroom, him and Jay Sirius.
Yeah, actually, Jazzy J had put that on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's right. You did work Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm. He did. So, anyway, fantastic night. Great crowd, by the way. For being socially distanced and everything, it was a really good crowd. And it was great to see everybody out there. I saw Roxy, saw Vert Vixen, of course, and Alex Gracia, and Baby D was the ring announcer.
I haven't seen Baby D in forever.
Yeah.
Dang.
She started the show in a dress. First time, I think
Really?
it might be the first time I've seen her in a dress. She looked fantastic, but just it was one of those things that kind of throws you off. But good on her. Anyway, fantastic night. Got to see Big Swole.
Yeah, I was gonna say Big Swole
from
there,
AEW.
Right?
She's not as tall as I thought she was.
Most wrestlers aren't.
Yeah, I know. But it was great to see her, and she is becoming one of my favorites to watch on TV. Her rivalry with Britt Baker has been just gold. So. I know Mission Pro Wrestling has got a show coming up later this fall. Stay tuned to their social media for the details, where it's going to be, when it's going to be. But tell you what, they really did themselves proud on Friday night. So good on Mission Pro, and hats off to Thunder Rosa and her husband Brian and Jeremiah Wilkerson and everybody that worked so hard to put that event together. Again, it felt like old home week, to be there. Brandon James Beard, our good friend James Beard.
Oh, nice. So he made the travel.
He did make the travel. He was there along with a couple of his cohorts from SW Fury. They were one of the sponsors, so it was good to see them. Saw our friend Philip Sullivan, who does a lot of stuff with the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame out of Longview, so it was good to see him. Ran into Izzy James, a.k.a. formerly known as Isaiah James, formerly known as Unholy Gregory James.
I was all like, I was like, who is this person? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is another
He changed his name, yeah. But it was good to see him.
Whatever is going to work.
Hey,
you just never know.
That's true. So, real quick, New Japan Pro Wrestling, they've got the G1 Climax has kicked off. Now, it's still really early. In fact, both blocks have only had one match. So we've had one match in each. I'll let you know. B block, Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, Toriano, and Juice Robinson have all got the wins. Meanwhile, Yoshihashi, Sanada, Hiroki Goto, Evil, and the ace Hiroshi Tanahashi all lost. I think, if I remember correctly, Naito beat Tanahashi. So that's B block. A block, Kota Ibushi, Jay White, Minoru Suzuki, Taishi, and Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay came back.
Yes.
Great to see him. So they're all on the winning side so far, 1-0. 0-1 right now. You're Jiro Takahashi, Jeff Cobb, Tomohiro Ishii, Shingo Takagi, and Kazuchika Okada.
Both blocks are rather loaded.
They are very loaded.
when you think about it.
Yeah, incredibly loaded. Great that Jeff Cobb is over there doing this. Jay White, Kenta. Kenta came out with the briefcase for his U.S. title shot that he's got against Jon Moxley.
That's right.
So
this is probably the closest that they have been to full roster in quite a while, right?
Absolutely. So that tournament will continue. In fact, if you're listening on the horn, it continued this morning. If you're watching us on YouTube or catch the podcast, it continued on Wednesday morning, and it'll continue on. The tournament ends mid-October. We'll find out who wins that beautiful trophy and gets a shot at the titles at the Tokyo Dome.
Say October, all things considered.
Yes, assuming everything goes well. So we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we've got a full slate for this weekend in independent wrestling. It's so good to see this. So we will let you know about those events and we'll wrap up. As I mentioned, we'll do the Clash Champions preview and some other WWE news and notes in a podcast-only segment. But you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you're listening to The Horn. All right. So there we go. So now we'll do the podcast-only segment. I've got to adjust that. So, yeah, we got 5 events this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Well, yeah, I listed 4, and then I found one before you got here. So I got to give them some love too. They actually asked if I was going to come out, and I'd love to, but Corpus Christi is a little bit far on Friday night.
I mean, if they're going to put you up in a hotel, why not? Right?
Hey, why not? Yeah. So, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Here we go. Yeah, the rants and stuff. Here we go.
Hey, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling podcast only segment. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons.
It's really sad, Stu.
What's that?
That they closed down Cap City.
That's
the very last person I saw there performing is Mick Foley.
I know. That broke my heart. For those of you outside the city of Austin, Cap City Comedy Club was the kind of the big comedy club here in Austin, and had all the headliners and yes, what was it last year? It was this time last year.
Yeah,
that we saw Mick.
It wasn't long ago.
Yeah, saw Mick Foley. But they've shut down permanently because of due to the pandemic, and just couldn't survive. So I saw some great comedians from I can't even, it just saw what's his name, Ari from what's the show, Entourage. Jeremy Piven.
Okay.
Jeremy Piven, saw him do a comedy set at Cap City.
I think I've seen Paul Mooney, Anthony Jeselnik, Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
I think I've seen all those perform there.
Yeah.
At one time.
Eddie Gosling. Eddie Gosling was hilarious there.
But anybody who's anybody in comedy pretty much played Cap City.
Oh yeah.
So it
Carlos Mencia.
Carlos Mencia.
Oh my God, he's so good.
Oh man, you got to get into the comedy community doesn't care for him.
No doubt, yeah.
Because he stole a lot of jokes.
Yes,
apparently.
I've heard that. So,
but he did have a television show. There was a time when he was big,
and he was popular here in Austin. So, okay.
Now, before you jump into this, I do want to argue for everybody that's going to go back and listen to this. Do you think that you should put this energy over the radio? Because I think you would get more listeners this way. Because they need to hear the true thoughts of Stu.
Because the simple answer is, after what happened on Monday night with Raw, my thoughts, I'm not sure I can trust myself to say those over Austin airwaves without incurring some sort of sanction. I mean, I've been in radio for over a decade, and that's one of the first things you learn is, no matter whether it's live or not, if you're in front of a microphone, you do not cuss. But boy, last Monday night on Raw, I mean, that was dying days of WCW levels of bad. I try to see some sort of positive spin. The only positive thing I could think of is that pre-tape segment they did with Bianca Belair. That was it.
That was a good promo for Bianca Belair.
It was.
Package.
Why they had her drop off the face of the earth and then do that, I don't know. But fine. That was good. But the rest of the show, and oh my God, Retribution. So you've got this invading force that is causing chaos and doing whatever they want and ransacking everything. Why is it that WWE's solution storyline is to give them a contract? And they kept saying now they're under contract so they can do whatever they want whenever they want. Well, they were doing that before the contract.
Yes, but now they're getting paid.
Yes, that makes it even crazier. So all the chaos before, they were doing it for free. Now they're causing chaos in WWE, and WWE's paying for it.
I can't explain that. All I know is that it happened, and it just really comes back to how do you view wrestling?
And
that's all this comes back down to.
I get that. I know.
Because,
and I know you got to watch WWE differently, but
because for me, it was hilarious. Because it was so bad. It was funny.
There is a bit of, hilarity in its absurdity.
Because WWE is ran like so many other places I've worked at in my life, just with such ineptitude, that this would be something that would happen in a sketch comedy. It's like, okay, we're going to sign them and we're going to pay you. And you can still do the same stuff that you were doing before.
The promos they were cutting. I've always enjoyed, we've gotten to meet Shelton Benjamin and Mia Yim through through the indies and such. And we know their frenemy thing. They've had this frenemy thing going on social media forever and ever and ever.
Oh, yeah.
Even before they were in WWE. And I always felt bad for Mia. I always sided with Mia. Today was the first time I sided with Shelton. He tweeted out something to the effect of, "Now you people have see what I've known forever. And she's a bad person," and da da da. And I said, "Yeah, you're right, Shelton." And I feel bad for Mia and Dominic Dijakovic.
Wait. Who are you talking about?
Well, we're going to get to that in a second.
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
And Dio
anymore.
Madden. I feel bad because they have gotten, they have been saddled with this nuttiness. And I think it's he was one half of the tag team from Australia. Sean something anyway. Then they give them names. The three guys.
Well, yeah.
Slapjack.
Mm-hmm.
T-Bar.
Is it T-Bar?
T-Bar.
Okay.
And Mace.
Early
What
90s.
are you getting, the 8th grader that's writing like Marvel Comics fan fiction? Did somebody like introduce Vince to Mad Max? 30 years later.
Oh, it does remind me of early 90s beat 'em up, like arcade games from Konami. Those are very 1990s.
They're like rejected Batman villains.
I think Slapjack is a Batman villain, actually.
Is he?
Or probably like the name of one of the goons or something.
Oh my
but
God! I'll put here's what I'm gonna borrow this. Bill Pritchard, our good friend from WrestleZone, put this on his Twitter account @bpritchard152. Retribution is finally revealed. They get names like Slapdick and Teabag, and they're wearing bad gimp masks.
Oh yeah, I saw that everybody was like making allusions to Bane from Batman, and I was like, okay, yeah, it does look a lot like that. I mean,
I pray DC finds a way to like claim copyright and maybe gets WWE to change that, because the outfits are awful. The names are horrendous. I can't wait to hear what they give Mia and Mercedes Martinez.
I bet you it was already bad, and they just decided not to run with it. Oh man! So, what do you expect? How long does this last?
It's already lasted 4 weeks too long.
No, but how long does it last now? Because beforehand they didn't have a storyline; they were just going with it, and now they put names with faces.
But they still don't have a storyline other than
They
we're
just
going to
got
wreak
signed.
havoc. We're going to wreak havoc on WWE.
They just signed contracts.
Except it's not a SmackDown and NXT. We only care about Raw. So SmackDown and NXT, I guess they're not the godless souls taking money, just Raw.
Yeah, because I mean it's the A show. They had the best contract.
Sure. Oh man, I shake my head.
But is it the worst faction ever?
I heard somebody. I was listening to Brian Alvarez and Mike Sempervive on Wrestling Observer Live. I heard somebody say these guys make aces and eights look like Hall of Famers.
Aces and Eights wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It was, it got a little silly at the end, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, but like, there has to be a faction that is worse than this. I refuse to believe that this is the worst faction ever.
Okay,
and there's a lot of wrestling out there.
So YouTubers, and if you're listening to the podcast and everything, tweet at us at SGTWATX. Give us a faction in wrestling history that is worse than Retribution. I am racking my brain. I'll be honest. I mean,
there was the Job Squad, the Union, the Oddities,
West Texas Cowboys.
Oh, you mean the West Texas Rednecks?
Rednecks, I'm sorry.
No, that was great. They had Rap is Crap. That song was amazingly good. I was so surprised that actually worked. They had a Rap is Crap tour. I mean, I can't believe they got that over.
I've been watching wrestling for 40 years. I can't. NWO towards the end wasn't this bad. When they started just bringing in everybody, it still wasn't that bad.
I mean, is this like Four Horsemen, Paul Roma bad?
It's worse than that.
There has to be another faction from like USWA or something else that was just so poor. Like, what about the Dungeon of Doom? That's not a great faction. I'm pretty sure Devastation Incorporated, you can't really name me who was wrestling in 1991 under them.
I don't know. I have no idea who was Devastation Incorporated in 91. But I'll dare say just because of Skandar, that would never reach this depth of just bad. This was just, I mean, the promos were horrible. It's again, it sounds like a bunch of angst-ridden teens in the 90s sitting in a basement listening to Nirvana and hating their parents.
Well, Stu, I mean, all teenagers do that.
I know, but it just... You are a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded corporation, and this is the best you can come up with?
Well, they're trying to get younger viewers, so yeah.
By taking references from 30-year-old movies?
That, and honestly, Stu, I think a lot of the references are more inclined to what's happening in our society today.
But that's the thing. They said it from the beginning. This was not going to be, this had nothing to do with political.
I understand that, but like the way that they shape it, the way that they have them dress, the way that,
I get that.
What they're talking about, it's like, it's pretty on the nose.
I get that. I'm saying, look, we know Vince, he'll take any political, situation or, whatever's happening, current event, and turn it into an angle. He has no shame in that.
Of course.
This if this wasn't just so absolutely awful, absurd bad, this could backfire on him. But he's lucky because I can't find a soul, and I check. I can't find a soul that takes these people seriously. And it's bad because on the surface, they're good wrestlers.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Mia Yim's a wonderful wrestler. Mercedes Martinez, one of the best in women's wrestling today. Dominik Dijakovic, one of the best big men. The rivalry with him and Keith Lee. Dio Madden was a great up-and-comer, not to mention great commentator. I don't know. I don't know. I'm the fact that this got put on USA Network for 3 hours, never mind all the other stuff. We've had tag teams that was split up, and apparently they're back together. you promoted this big, Raw Underground match with Braun Strowman and Dabba-Kato, and then you basically squashed Dabba-Kato in 2 minutes. You build him up as this big stud, and then he gets knocked out.
Well, I mean, it is against the Monster Among Men, so it does make
But
sense.
it's in Raw Underground. It's not like a wrestling match. You should at least give him something.
No,
So-
Braun gave him the hands.
Right. So now it's like, okay, then why is, again, and I kind of like Raw Underground. I'm starting to warm up to it. I'm still trying to figure out the purpose of it.
Yeah. But it's something
Like
different.
Dolph Ziggler and Arturo Ruas. That was a fine match. That's
Yeah.
probably one of the better Dolph Ziggler matches I've seen in a while.
Well, I mean, Dolph can work any style, so
Yeah.
he's always going to make it look good.
He looked
regardless.
good.
And he looks good on Raw Underground.
Yeah. But again, what's the purpose? Kind of with everything else. So
Well, it looks like they're taking it more seriously, and that it's going to become more of a focal point of the show going forward. So it looks
Yeah.
like they do have somewhat
I guess.
plans for it. I'm not sure that the ideas have been ironed out, but they have plans for it somewhere down the line.
yeah, I mean, and I hope so. I just want them to come up with some sort of a purpose for it, whether it's a, as much as I hate to say it, a Raw Underground championship would definitely help.
See,
But we don't need another championship in WWE.
and I was going to say, I don't want to have another title,
Yeah.
not for this. I think an opportunity to vie for a championship out of winning some sort of underground tournament would make sense.
Yeah, that's possible.
Kind of like the original UFCs,
Yeah,
where you would have multiple fights in one night.
right. I get that. But yeah, just you. Well, I tell you what. Let's do this. So let's go through the Clash of Champions, because there's going to be some things I want to. WWE Clash of Champions this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, on the WWE Network, coming to us from the WWE Thunderdome. AKA the Amway Center in Orlando. So far, they've got 9 matches. All of them are championship matches.
Well, good. That means the
Which,
pay-per-view makes
hey,
sense.
there you go. Yes. Congratulations, WWE. You got something right. So the pre-show, Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Zelina Vega. Okay. You have Zelina Vega, who I'm sure is a fine wrestler, but she's been a manager for the last, year? Defeating a former 6-time world champion in Mickie James.
That's what I was going to ask, but it seems like that's her job now. So she's like come back as the veteran hand to put
That
people
can-
over. So now she's like
And maybe that's
she's
it.
like Natty,
I guess.
essentially.
I mean, I would hope for more from Mickie James, but maybe I'm just biased because, gotten to talk with her and hang out with her and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to look at where she is in her
True.
career. She's just a
True.
part-timer. She doesn't have a full-time gig with them, at least
True.
from what I can understand.
Yeah, I know.
So she's not there to win. And it did make sense storyline-wise for Vega to show that, hey, she doesn't really need the other two, that she is more than capable of standing out on her own right. It's a shame that Asuka gets relegated to the pre-show because she has just been such a valuable player for them ever since the beginning of COVID.
Right. No, I agree. But I get with all the title matches, you've got to have somebody on the pre-show, so I guess. All right.
Yeah,
Here's
but
another one.
We could put the women's tag championship on the pre-show.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. All right. For the Raw tag team titles, for about the 472nd time, Street Profits in Andrade and Angel Garza.
But I don't get tired of watching them go at each other. They're all really good. I mean, I really like Angel Garza and Andrade,
I do too. I like them too, but
but they're not going to win this match.
we've seen this match. It's not going to be a different match. It's the same match we've seen on pay-per-view, on Raw, on pay-per-view.
They might be able to throw into a different gear this weekend. We don't know. You just never know. And and they've been working together for a while, maybe this match gets even better because the chemistry's improved.
Okay, sure.
What you?
I like your spin. I like the positivity. I'll give you that.
I was going to say, do you think Ric Flair and Rick Steamboat were like instantaneously clicked like the first couple of times? No, they had to wrestle like 80 times, and then it was smooth as butter after that.
I think they had chemistry faster than that, though. You know,
Ric Flair wasn't just Ric Flair, man.
I know, but still, you know, Ricky Steamboat, he can make a broom look good.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it didn't start that way.
Yeah, but we're not talking about two guys that are, two teams that are
the only real person I think in professional wrestling that started off that you instantaneously knew like this guy was going to be a star, because like you could never say that about Steamboat, Hogan, Flair, none of those guys. You didn't know, but Brock Lesnar. Like you already knew he had the body, he had the athleticism, he had the look. He had all the skills.
I guess. Who you got in that one? You in Street Profits? You going?
Oh no, I already said Street Profits.
You're going
like,
Street Profits?
Like as much as I would like the other two to win, like it's just not going to happen.
I should just do this. Do you see a title changing hands on this night? I mean, we could go through the whole list, and I will, but still, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura defending the SmackDown Tag Titles against Lucha House Party.
Yes, I do see a title change.
Okay, we'll get to that. That Cesaro because they're teasing Lucha House Party breaking up. So
this would be the time to do it. I keep on forgetting they're around, which is sad, but true.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. We've seen, like, again, the match we just talked about, Angel, Garza, and Andrade. I thought they were broken up. They fought last week.
It happens. Just because you fight doesn't mean that you break up.
I mean, well, all right, sure. It does in wrestling usually, but okay,
no,
sure.
Not necessarily. It's like the start of a riff.
Triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Jeff Hardy defending against AJ Styles and Sami Zayn, who claims he is still the Intercontinental champion because he never lost the belt.
Exactly. So he is the Intercontinental champion.
Well, if I remember correctly, he was stripped of it he relinquished it because he wasn't coming back.
But he never lost.
Right. But he relinquished it. That means he is no longer. But we love the storyline. I get it.
I don't think he relinquished it. Like,
yeah, he did. I remember the story.
Like he was like, "Here, I give up my belt." He was more like, "No, I'm not going to wrestle during this time period when it is not safe for my health."
All right. So do you see Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
Getting this one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. Just for sake of, I'm gonna go Jeff. It wouldn't surprise me with Sammy. I don't think AJ's getting it.
I mean, but Jeff Hardy can easily retain. But I mean, it would make more sense for Sami Zayn to win because he was already on such an upswing before COVID, and I think he needs to keep that. He can have that momentum back if they give it to him here.
Another match that we've seen multiple times: Bobby Lashley defending the U.S. title against Apollo Crews.
But aren't you glad that both of these guys are like this high in the card? Especially Apollo, who had been floundering.
I'm happy for
years.
Apollo.
I mean, this is like a mid-tier title. I mean, this is like this next step up from World Championship title.
And he held it, by the way.
Yes.
He's not going to win this time. Bobby will win.
Is it because of the lack of friends that he's going to win this title? Or,
Apollo?
Yeah. Or do you just think that Lashley's just going to beat him?
That is the trend in WWE. All the baby faces don't have friends. It's all the heels that have friends.
No, he has a friend. He has Ricochet.
True. But Bobby has 3 friends in the Hurt Business.
I'm not sure if you call them friends. They're like acquaintances, but he has
associates, business associates.
Exactly.
I'm still going with Bobby Lashley.
But that's when wrestling's always better that way?
When what?
With stables.
I like stables.
Like the more stables you have, it tends to get better.
I don't want to see a stable with a guy named Slapjack in it, but sure.
Well, you already have.
Or T-Bar.
I'm sure that you watched something that was worse than this, Stu. Because man, I've seen a lot of USWA stuff, and I'm telling you, not like you go back and you're thinking about your glory years of professional wrestling.
Well, there was a stud stable, but that was kind of like there was never there's a bunch of people that were in the stud stable.
Yeah, but you go back and you paint all this stuff with the rainbows and the sunshine. But like it's just like pop. It's just like pop music. Like there's a lot of hits that I recall from my younger days, but not all of it was good. And that's what like pro wrestling's like. It's like the good stuff was really good, but the other stuff that was bad was really forgettable.
Right. Are you going Bobby Lashley or Apollo?
Apollo.
You're going okay. I would love to see Apollo get the title again, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't understand what purpose that would serve, but
Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title against Nikki Cross.
Nah, Bayley just wins.
Of course, Bayley's. Yeah, we got to save that. We got to save that for Sasha.
I was going to say, well, Sasha can come out and cost her the title.
I think the more likely scenario will be Alexa Bliss comes out and costs Nikki.
Okay.
Because somebody says fiend to her because she's in this little trance thing.
I'm cool with that, though.
You going Bayley or Nikki?
No, I was going to say Bayley's going to win.
I mean, it could, but like I said, I'm thinking it's going to be more.
It really just depends which way they decide to go.
Yeah. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending the WWE Women's Tag Team titles against the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan.
No, there's no change.
No change. Jax and Baszler.
Do you like this tag team?
It's not bad. I kind of like it.
I mean, they're two ruthless, badass chicks.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of Shayna Baszler. I think she's a legit badass. So,
Do you feel it's like a demotion for her though, to be in a tag team, even though they're the tag team champions? No.
All right, in an ambulance match, Randy Orton challenges Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I've heard a lot of people thinking Randy's taking this one.
That's what I was thinking too.
You think this one?
This is the one. Besides,
well, I was going to say because
possibly
you picked
winning.
Yeah, you picked Apollo, and you also picked Sami Zayn.
Yeah, those I actually can see happening. The Apollo one is kind of like, I really don't care. But Randy Orton, and I can totally see winning.
See that. I'm gonna go with my heart and go Drew. Just because I don't want to see him lose the title just yet. And then for the Universal title, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. This might be the least believable. This and Bayley and Nikki Cross. They're in a snowball's chance in hell that either of those two titles change hands.
Well, I mean, what about if there's a moment?
What was that? You tapping your finger on the mic?
Yeah, the finger poke of doom.
With Roman and Jay?
Could happen.
No.
Jay could just lie down.
Really? No.
If they're going to form a faction, why not?
I don't think they're going to form a faction. I think Roman beats Jay up pretty badly. Because you still got to get Jimmy back so they can at least have a tag team. Although, why that's important, I don't know, because WWE doesn't care about tag teams. So
they've already won, the tag team championships like 9 times?
They've got it one less than New Day. So I think they got 7. They've got 7. New Day has 8.
Still, they've had plenty of title reigns, both
True.
as faces and as heels. So
True.
If they were going to form a faction, this would be the time to do that and kind of veer.
I could see it after the pay-per-view maybe, but not.
Because I could see them being like the Undisputed Era of SmackDown.
Or you could just bring up Undisputed Era. I don't know. Anyway, that's Clash of Champions, Gold Rush this Sunday on the WWE Network.
So you just think that Roman Reigns is going to win?
Oh God, yeah. I don't think it. We're talking. We're talking my Gladewater Bears taking on Allen. It ain't happening. It might be a good fight, but have you heard about this? WWE has wine.
I've seen it.
So they have partnered with Wines That Rock. They're offering an Undertaker and Ultimate Warrior themed wines. Why they picked those two, I don't know, but okay, sure.
Undertaker, I can understand. Warrior, I'm kind of like not the first thing I would think of if I wanted wine.
I'll be honest. I don't see either one of them as wine drinkers. I could be wrong. Maybe Taker has a nice wine cellar in that beautiful house down at Spanish Oaks.
I mean, even Steve Austin drinks wine.
That's true.
And people,
I think the Undertaker wine's a Cabernet Sauvignon, so a nice, deep body red. Ultimate Warriors is a Zinfandel.
easy drinking red.
So, and you can pre-order them now. They start shipping sometime in October.
The question is, do you want to start pre-ordering now?
www.wines.com for more information.
Now, have purchased like the Champion champagne.
I got my I gave you the bottle.
Yeah.
I got my bottle sitting behind
Are you
you.
going to be getting WWE wine?
I might, just for the hell of it.
Now, would you drink the wine if you bought the wine?
Well, of
I can
course.
understand if you just collected the bottle, but like,
Well, I collect the bottle, never let Anyway, but yeah, I'll drink the wine. I'll check it out. Can't be that bad.
any idea how much it cost?
I believe it's $100 for 2 bottles.
$100 for 2 bottles?
I believe so. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think I saw
Are you
that.
serious? No. If you guys don't drink wine, you can get like a terrific bottle of the same
can.
stuff for like $12 to $14, and it's going to be great. Now you can
You're
spend,
buying the name. You're as much as anything.
even if you're buying the name, that is outrageously
Yeah,
expensive.
it is.
For 2 bottles of wine, you can go get yourself a WWE replica championship belt right now on sale at WWE
For $100
shop
bucks?
for $129 right now because
Oh.
they're on sale.
Not that god awful Fiend one, is it?
No.
Okay.
But the 24/7 one is available as well, as long as you can fight off the ninjas.
All right. Did Akira Tozawa get eaten by a shark?
He might have been attacked by a shark, maybe bitten, but I don't think he was completely eaten.
I hope not. I want to see more of the ninjas. If we're going to be absurd, at least let's have some laughs with it, right?
Yeah,
And
But-
I like Tozawa.
I do too, but even I will admit, that skit wasn't as funny as it could have been.
No, it's not. Like I said, the whole show last night, it was just like, really?
But I think they also know that they're going against Monday Night Football again, so it's just
True.
kind of like, we'll
Yeah.
save it till the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you had Raiders and who was it?
I don't know, actually. I didn't even-
Vikings? No.
all I know is the Raiders won, but I didn't even
Raiders
watch.
won. It was their home opener, the new Allegiant Stadium there in Las Vegas. I saw clips of the stadium. It looked nice. The Raiders won. Still weird seeing Jason Witten in a Raiders uniform, but we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we got a stacked slate of this weekend in independent wrestling. We're going to tell you all about it. Coming up next, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. All right, let's see. And I forgot to write down 8:18. All right, so 8:18. You got to take care of these timing things when you run long on a segment. So 8:18. All right, so now I got 30. 47. So we got to do 6:13, the last segment. All right, which we can do. That'll be easy. But yeah, I just I threw up my hands. I was like, I'm watching that thing. I can't believe I'm still watching it, but have to because of the show.
Watching what?
Raw, what from last night?
Oh, do you
It
really put
was-
yourself through all that just for the show?
Yeah,
Man, I mean, like, Just go
committed
back
to
and watch it.
committed to the art.
I was like, go back and just watch a highlight video or something.
I will say, well, actually, I say I watched the whole thing. I caught I caught the second half of it because we were taping a special bonus episode of Longhorn Lowdown with John Bianco, the senior associate AD for media relations at Texas. Todd Hunt wanted to talk to John really badly, and he's the one who booked it. I said, sure, I like John, so we did that, and then I watched the rest of Raw. I was going to go back and watch the beginning, and then I saw the first segment that started with Retribution. I said, I can't. I went and watched our friend Simon Miller and his ups and downs.
Did you like Rey Mysterio Dominic, Seth.
That was silly.
Yeah, but it was so bad it was good because like Ray is such a consummate pro. Like you could tell that he was still trying to sell it, and Seth really tried to sell it, and I'm like, wow, this is really bad, but you guys are so good at trying to sell this. I'm in.
Whoever thought that was a good
but it was
so just I don't know.
Because even Ray was like, I know, this is a bunch of BS because we've already done this angle, but we're all cool with this. And I was like, oh man, he even knows. And that was just kind of like the wink where everybody's like, yeah, we know.
All right, sure.
But this time it's the daughter.
Allegedly.
But she has that little Stephanie McMahon thing going on where she's like, oh, flirting with the enemy all of a sudden. That's intriguing. Like, is she going to become a worker?
I don't. As far as I know, I don't think so. I guess she could. It's in the blood, so why not?
I mean, not everybody's going to be Charlotte Flair.
Right, but hey, send her to the Performance Center.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Rock's kids are already having injury issues.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's not like it's like no matter your genetics doesn't necessarily guarantee.
It's just
For every cowboy Bill Watts, there is an Eric Watts.
That's true. Or for every Ric Flair, there's a David Flair.
Oh, he was put into a no-win situation, though.
He was. You kind of felt bad for him, but yeah, he was.
Because the people at WCW were like, "Oh, you're Ric Flair's kid. You probably already know all this stuff. What can we possibly do to help you?"
Yeah.
But
then on the flip side, for every Dusty Rhodes, there's a Dustin and Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the opposite end where the genetics were there in both of them. So, by the way, did you see?
Yes.
Dustin's taking applications. So happy for him. RhodeSWrestlingAcademy.com. If you'd like to learn how to be a professional wrestler under the tutelage of the Natural, sign up.
Now, is he only taking wrestlers, or is he taking refs and managers as well?
I think it's just wrestlers now, and it's beginners. I think I heard he doesn't. He's not looking for those with experience, or at least a lot of experience. Because, like, some of the students at AAPW, they have experience, but they're coming to, get more. So.
Well, I mean, I understand where he's getting from, because if you've been working for a really long time, and if you hang around enough locker rooms, you hear the talk all the time. It's like people want to get their stuff in, they do it a certain way, and after a while you become uncoachable because you're just all like, this is how I've always done it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, he just wants to instill the basics, because pro wrestling, it's like, for all the flips and stuff you're gonna see nowadays, it's like, well, you still need like the very basics of how to move in a ring, because it's way different. Like, they make it look easy, but that's even something that's ingrained in your training, like how you get up, which direction you get up in, how you move, and how you walk in a circle in the ring.
Right. And then you add, if somehow you're working in front of a TV camera, that changes everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I assume that would be coming in his like advanced classes, because first he has to lay down the basics. But it reminds me of those USWA ads with Chris Adams all of a sudden. Now we're going to start
Chris Adams Wrestling School. Yes,
and then we're going to show you, and we're going to train you, and we're going to assess your body, and there's a 2-day camp, and where you can possibly win a 2-year scholarship to the USWA Training Academy.
Yep.
We've already produced one superstar in Stunning Steve Austin.
Yes. Who, if I remember correctly, was not fond of.
Oh, no. There's bad blood, money.
Really bad blood.
Yeah, because it's like, I think Chris Adams like took money from him. Like, Chris Adams did a lot of bad things to a lot of people.
Well, he took his wife.
Yeah, then he took his wife.
Yeah.
Steve Austin took his wife.
wife.
But then he had another wife, and then it turned into an angle on USWA between Tony Adams and Jeannie and Chris and Stunning Steve. Because it was like teacher versus student plus like, ex-lover versus new lover. And it was like, that wasn't a bad angle, actually. That was really interesting, because I've been watching a lot of USWA.
It was. Yeah, I remember those days, though, seeing those ads. and thinking about, wow, okay, that's kind of neat. So.
Yeah, but see, like, that also goes to show you that, like, the WWF at the time wasn't the only place that kind of killed kayfabe. Like, these guys came out and told you specifically, like, hey, this is the school. This is exactly what we're going to show you how to do all of this stuff.
Well, it's a little different. They didn't exactly kill kayfabe because you didn't see, like, say, Skandar Akbar over there teaching guys. You didn't see Superstar Bill Dundee teaching guys, you know, as just Bill Dundee, not as the character. Even Chris Adams, you know, you didn't see. So it wasn't necessarily killing kayfabe. It was just Chris wanting to teach people how to be a wrestler. It didn't, but it didn't give away a lot of the secrets.
But you would have never seen, like, an ad like that in the 80s or 70s.
True. I'm trying to think.
Because, I mean, this business is so protected. This is where
Yeah.
you can see, like, 1990s. Like, this is the changes. The 90s is where everything
Well,
changes. And everybody accepts the change. Like, hey,
Right. Well, and
people
that was
are kind of
the
already in on the joke.
yeah, and you got to remember that was also like that was like 90-91, the Chris Adams.
Yeah, this is 1990, 1991.
Yeah, so you hadn't quite gone all the way there, but you could see the wheels turning. So, all right, let's do the last segment so we can finish up and get everybody to the Jay Lethal video. Here we go.
If you don't know, you should know. This is the Bear, the final boss, Ruthless Ryan Davidson, and you are listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. It is so good to see this list. We have got a full slate of independent wrestling happening this weekend that we get to tell you about. We're going to start Friday night in Haltom City. VIP Wrestling. VIP Wrestling's coming back. Proving Grounds this Friday at the Haltom Theater in Haltom City. Bell time 8 p.m. Gino Medina, Mysterious Q, JD Griffey, Alejandro Lyon, Roxy, and more. That's VIP Wrestling Friday night in Haltom City. Metroplex Wrestling has Purple Rain Saturday at the MPX Arena in Bedford. Bell time 8 p.m. Dexter Hardaway, Chandler Hopkins, Wesley Crane, and Dave Sagan among those scheduled to appear. That's Metroplex Wrestling Saturday in Bedford. Hurricane Pro Wrestling presents live pro wrestling at Fort Park in Beaumont. Bell time 7 p.m. Deanna Perrazzo, the current Knockouts champion from Impact Wrestling. Will Alday, Taya Valkyrie, and Ruthless Ryan Davidson will be there, among others. That's Hurricane Pro Wrestling Saturday night in Beaumont. AAPW has live pro wrestling this Saturday at the AAPW Arena, 1702 Aldrich Suite A right here in Austin. Bell time 8 p.m. The new America's champion T-Ray will be there. The new social media champion Leroy Brown. Steve Orino, the new women's champion Jasmine Allure will be there, as will yours truly be there to do commentary. Catch it AAPW Saturday night here in Austin. And then Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance and Pure Pinche Wrestling present Drive In and Dive Saturday at the Valencia Event Center in Corpus Christi. Bell time 7:30 p.m. Gino Medina, Hammerstone, Jasmine Allure, Kiefer Bartek, and Dill Dempsey among those scheduled to appear. That's Gulf Coast Wrestling and Pure Pinche Wrestling this Saturday night in Corpus Christi. And that's a look at independent wrestling. Make sure you support independent wrestling wherever you are. You're looking at something.
Is it really called Puro
Pinche? Is that, did I say that right? I'm a poor white boy from East Texas.
I don't know if you can say that on air.
It's Pinche.
Yeah, but like the word. You still filming?
Yeah.
Okay, well the word pinche is like when you're being pinche, it means like you're being like a tight ass.
Oh, well, you can say ass on the air. So, but yeah, big slate this weekend. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I'll be at AAPW with my friend Eli doing commentary for them, If you can't be at the APW Arena, you'll stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I think I got those right. So check it out on there. A lot of fun, and always good hanging out with Steve Areno and those folks. Huge thanks to Ray Campos. Again, huge thanks to Thunder Rosa and Jeremiah Wilkerson and Brian, Thunder Rosa's husband, for having me out at Mission Pro Wrestling. It was good. Hope to see them again real soon.
Well, I mean, just for all of you that are all going to go watch the pro wrestling, just take your precautions because
Yes.
I mean, this thing isn't like gone.
Yes.
I know things are opening up. The governor has said some stuff
Right.
also about kind of changing things as it is, but I
Right.
mean, obviously,
Be careful.
We've already had football games that are being canceled this weekend,
Yes.
like major college football games because of
what was it,
COVID.
Notre Dame and Wake Forest, right?
Yeah, so I mean, come on, Notre Dame joined a conference just to
Yes.
play football this year. So just take your precautions while you
Yes.
go out and
Wear your
support the
masks.
wrestlers. I
Wear
mean,
your-
I understand people
Yeah.
got to make money, but
And if I remember correctly, all these, I know AAPW does, and I'm pretty sure all these promotions, they're adhering to the protocols, adhering to the guidelines from the state as far as social distancing, wear your masks. They're doing temperature checks at the door and everything. So please be careful. But yeah, if you want to get out and watch some wrestling, please do. It'll be a lot of fun. We do have football this weekend. The Longhorns open up Big 12 conference play and in Lubbock against Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. That game kicks off 2:30 p.m. You can see it on Fox. Of course, you can also listen to it all across the Austin Radio Network, including the Horn, Coke FM, and you can hear the Spanish broadcast with my dear friend, Dr. Ruben Pizarro, on 105.3 The Bat. Pre-game will start at 10:30 a.m. on the Horn with the cast of characters, Aaron Hogan and so on and so forth. So catch everything leading up to the Longhorns and the Red Raiders. Longhorns, depending on the poll, either ranked 8th or 9th in the country right now. Let's hope it's not one of those, early season everybody's hyped and then Longhorns crater. So, but yeah, Big 12 conference play starting up and not too far away. Next week, Lake Travis High School kicking off against Westwood at Dragon Stadium in Round Rock.
really,
So, yeah,
okay.
that'll be the first game of the season. So, looking forward to that. Looking forward just to get back out there and get on the sideline. Hang out with my buddies, Mark Honig, Bucky Godbolt, and see some good high school football.
What is like? How open is the stadium? Like, what's the capacity?
I have no idea. I haven't heard.
Because it's like, where are you going to be? I mean, are they going to allow you on the sideline or?
I don't know. I'll find out. Hopefully, I'll find out between now and then.
Because I mean, I just came from doing sports where even though we were remote, like me and the other guy were in 2 different booths. Now
Yeah.
that was already, it's already hard enough as it is not to be there live, but
Yeah.
then to be in 2 separate booths where I can't even look at the other person,
Right.
that was hard.
We'll see what happens. That'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We are proud to be the official broadcast partner of the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and proud to be part of the great lineup you hear every day on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns and your radio home in Austin for the Dallas Cowboys. We are the Horn. Catch us Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Central on the Horn, or catch us anytime on demand by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider or going to hornfm.com and click on the on-air tab. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time tonight. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
All right, there we go.
All right. So honestly, like the way that they phrase it by saying puro pinche
Yeah.
means like fuck yes.
Oh.
It can mean like heck
hell
yes.
Maybe hell yes.
It can mean that too.
But that's
but most of the time when you say like you'll say something like "Puro pinche Spurs," like fucking Spurs, yeah, fuck yeah Spurs. Like they played really well, like "Puro pinche fucking Spurs."
okay.
Yeah. So that's why when I'm like, oh, it's really called "Puro pinche wrestling." It's like fuck yeah wrestling. I mean, I get it, but it's just like, can they say that? Like,
hold on, I'll show you. Yeah, it's Poodle. Yeah, here.
yeah, I see it. I see you write it down. And
there's the poster.
Puro pinche wrestling. Yeah. I mean, like the only context I've ever heard it used is like in the fuck yeah context.
Okay.
So I'm like, I wasn't sure. So,
All right.
I mean, I guess it's not really that big of a deal on an English speaking station, but
I don't know. So I mean, that's
I was just like, I saw you write it down there, and I was like, really? It says Puro pinche wrestling? Okay.
Oh, I thought
mean,
it
I'm
was a
cool
weird
with it.
name, but I didn't think of anything of it. So, let's see. By the way, how about them Cowboys?
Yeah, it was nice for the Cowboys to get a win. Didn't deserve it, but it was nice.
No, I don't think. I mean, but then again, how do the Falcons not know what to do on a onside kick?
No preseason.
I guess. But hey, a win is a win is a win in the NFL. So,
yeah, you'll take a win. I mean, Dak looked really good. I mean,
Dak looked fantastic.
Just tells you that they need to pay the guy, but they're
absolutely.
not. I mean, but CD Lamb is the real deal.
He is really good.
And Cooper was really good. Zeke is still good. So it's just
they're all good.
Defense sucks though.
Defense is not good.
I mean, there's a lot of injuries.
Well, yeah, they've got a lot of injuries. They've lost some guys.
I mean, it's not like we're not. I don't think we're in worse shape than the Niners are.
True.
And what is it?
So yeah,
aren't they at the top of the division right now? Because they're like 1-1. The other two teams like 0-2.
I want to say yes.
I think everybody else is 0-2.
You may be right. Well, no, because hold on. Let's see. NFC East. It is Washington and Dallas at 1-1.
Oh, because they beat the Eagles.
Right. Philly and New York at 0-2. So
it's not like Washington.
The Washington football team. So yeah. Sunday should be interesting with Clash of Champions.
Well,
it would not surprise me to not see a single title change hands, quite frankly.
Well, what's the pay-per-view after Clash of Champions? Survivor Series? No.
Well, let's see. No, it's October, so it'll have to be.
So it's a filler.
Yeah, because Survivor Series is November.
Are they having an NXT takeover?
They are. It's October. It's like early October.
Right. I was like, it's coming up.
Yeah, because they're figuring out Finn Balor's challenger for the NXT title.
See, he ended up winning anyways.
They're doing a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet thing, gauntlet eliminator. And I've seen I know Kushida's part of it. I know Bronson Reed's part of it. Cameron Grimes. Might be two others.
I would love to see Kushida win.
I would too.
It definitely would make it way interesting, just because it's like somebody.
Oh
new to
yeah,
the picture.
Yeah.
But I mean, when's Adam Cole going to get called up?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's got to be time.
You would think. And what does that mean for the rest of the Undisputed Era?
They should turn on him.
Well, I've heard that quite a bit. I've heard that that's what's going to happen. Adam Cole becomes a face, and Fish, O'Reilly, and Strong turn on him. But
I feel like they would have to add somebody else. Like, you can't just like throw out somebody.
The Undisputed Era?
Yeah, like you can't just throw out somebody and not add somebody.
Right, but who do you add? Who do you add that's not Adam Cole?
Somebody new. I mean, it's a good rub to be running around with like the top stable in NXT.
True.
So if you have a young up and comer that needs the rub, it's a good way to protect them. That's why stables are important. Is because when you do have times like this where it's like, hey, we need to make this transition. This guy's ready for a big push, but this stable is still strong. Can we use that?
Right.
I mean, not every stable is the Shield.
No, it's not. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to go through the list in my head.
I was
don't
like,
think
who was
still
in
have
who
it.
was in Ring of Honor during the same
A
time?
ring- yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking of.
Besides Dijak.
You mean T-Bar?
Is that one T-Bar?
I think he's T-Bar.
He's not Slapdick or whatever.
T-Bag.
Slap nuts.
Slapnuts. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of.
Slap
Jeff Jarrett,
nuts.
listen up, Slapnuts.
Oh, you know what? Because I've been watching so much USWA during that time.
Yeah.
He's Simply Irresistible.
I
Jeff
think
Jarrett.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And he signs with Devastation Incorporated for $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause-
Yeah.
And then I think he turns on them like all within
Yeah.
like 6 months.
Yeah. Well, that was the dying days there. That was Fritz them trying to save the Sportatorium, save the Dallas territory.
But they had like big advertisers.
They did.
It was crazy.
they
Like
did, but they couldn't compete with WWF.
no, I know they couldn't compete with
like
them.
everything else.
But it was just like they had like Nintendo and 7-Up and major
yeah.
major national advertisers. I'm like, how did they get all this money for this crappy wrestling?
yeah.
It was like the USWA will come to your school and do a non-profit event.
Well, World Class used to do that.
Yeah, all of them
Yeah.
used to do that.
Yeah,
But it was just
because I
like-
got to ring announce at one of those.
But who is this Gus Johnson guy? The one that talks like this. Welcome to USWA.
I have to go back and watch.
And
I
I'm
don't
with
remember.
Percival
First-
Pringle the third.
I was going to say the only Gus Johnson I know of is Fox Sports.
I'm pretty sure this guy's last name is Johnson. But he
Yeah.
has glasses, white guy,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
and he talks like this. Like
Yeah.
almost overly afflection.
Yeah, and he had Percy Pringle as a color commentator.
Don't get me wrong though, like he's not my favorite, but he's grown on me because he's really clean.
Yeah,
Like he doesn't mess up his words. He doesn't really shout, but he's very monotone because he just talks like this the entire time.
yes, he's very up.
So is that Hollywood John Tatum? He's with Tessa. Was Tessa attractive? No disrespect to Tessa. I just can't tell because the video I'm watching is really grainy, so I can't tell. She
Who's
looks like she
Tessa?
might have been hot. No disrespect to any women out there. I promise you. I'm just asking if she was legitimately attractive.
I
okay?
guess Missy Hyatt was gone by then.
Yeah, she's with Tessa. He's with Tessa, and like
I
Tessa,
have to go back.
Tessa turns on him, and she sides with superstar Bill Dundee.
Okay, and I know Bill Dundee worked heel. Quite
No,
a
but he's a
bit.
face there.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, he works some as a heel there.
I mean, both Jerry Lawler and him are in USWA.
yeah. Well, yeah, because it was. I mean, it's technically a Memphis territory,
Yeah,
but they decided they bought the Dallas territory from Fritz.
yes, but they also have a Texas Heavyweight Championship.
Right, because
Which-
they kept all that stuff because Kevin wrestled for him, and
Yeah, and Kerry.
like even Kerry came back after his WWF run and
Yeah,
wrestled for him.
because he's wrestling Matt Bourne, who
Yeah.
goes on plays Doink
Right.
for the championship, and they have like this parking lot brawl.
Yep. Maniac Matt Bourne.
Yeah. See,
God,
it's-
he was another one that we lost too soon.
I know, but man, he was really good.
He was awesome. He was really good.
I only knew him as Doink, so like to go back and see him in the main event, even though it was a television show, it was just like, oh wow, he's a
Yeah.
big guy that could legitimately move.
Yeah, he was. So-
Although he does kind of look like Johnny Mantel.
a little
They
bit.
look very similar
yeah,
though.
there
man.
is similarity.
They got
You're
that,
right.
that same hairstyle.
Yeah.
And they got like the hairy patches on the shoulders, on the chest.
That's true. But yeah, good lord, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of this
I mean, it's all on
because
YouTube,
it's
man.
yeah, it's just like all of them. I was watching old Mid-South stuff on YouTube too. But I gotta go back and watch some of those old USWA.
Yeah, the best part is they kept the commercials, so I'm pretty sure that
Mhm.
some of that stuff will take you back. I mean, it takes me back to my childhood. For you, it probably just
Was
takes
it
you back to like
Ke-
young adult.
Kevin talking about commercials. Kevin Von Erich posted on Twitter the old Pizza Inn commercial that he and Carrie and Mike did
Oh yeah, they're
back
all.
in the 80s.
Well, you have to remember, like I wasn't around for the first time, but I've seen
Yeah.
the commercial,
Yeah.
like watching these replays where they're all like eating the buffet or whatever.
Yes. I love Pizza Inn.
I don't even know
We
what
had one
Pizza
of-
Inn is. See, that's what I'm
Let's
trying
see.
to tell him.
There's not one. I don't think there's one. I'm pretty sure there's not one in Austin.
I mean, do those things still exist?
I want to say they do because I could swear.
I'm assuming it's like a Gaddy's or a CC's by the way things look.
Oh, there's a Pizza Inn in Gerald. So north of Austin, north of Georgetown.
Gerald?
There's a Pizza Inn in Gerald, north of Georgetown.
I don't even know what a pizza
It is still
Inn
it is still around. I'm looking at the website.
Oh, there are franchising opportunities, people.
Franchise opportunities. Like I said, I knew them. Like I knew okay, so there you go. So it's basically the South. And
are they like the Waffle House of pizzas or what?
They were. It wasn't quite that bad. I mean, it was decent pizza.
I mean,
it was just
better than CC's, worse than CC's. Because CC's is pretty bare bones. Like I'll eat that if I'm starving, but
I'd say go up from CC's.
Okay, but is it better than Gaddy's?
No.
Really? Because Gaddy's isn't that great. So wow.
No, I like Gaddy's actually.
I mean, I'll tolerate it. I mean, Double Dave's is probably my best buffet, but now we're in the days where there's no longer buffets anymore.
Yeah, Double Dave's is the best buffet ever. But Pizza Inn was it was big in East Texas and in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There were Pizza Inns all over the place.
I mean, I remember Showbiz Pizza, but
I
don't remember Pizza Inns.
But yeah, and I would eat at Pizza Inn because Carrie and Kevin and Mike said to. So.
I mean, did you ever see them there?
No, they didn't come to East Texas very often.
Oh, I had friends that are older that grew up in the Metroplex, so they told me like when Bad Street, the album came out, and they were doing signings at the mall. Like they actually went down to the mall to get.
I've heard that
the signings.
Yeah, I remember those.
Like he's like, I begged my mom to take us so I could get this thing signed. I was like, oh wow, it was a different time.
Michael did the album. Michael Hayes and the Bad Street Band, I think.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and I remember, because they made a shift. Michael split from Terry Gordy and Buddy Jack. Michael went face, so that's when they brought in Iceman Parsons as the Blackbird.
Okay. I just remember this one time where they're like, Hayes isn't even in Dallas. He's like in Georgia because he's supposed to be banned from Texas.
Yes, he lost to loser leave to Carey, I think.
But like, it's not the big one. It's the older guy.
That'd be Buddy Jack.
Yeah, he's like the only one that's working there at the time.
Yes, so Michael and Terry had an opportunity in Georgia, so they did the loser leave thing so that Michael and Terry could go work Georgia Championship Wrestling. And Buddy Jack stayed in Dallas. Yeah,
because it's just like him on the phone all the time talking about Buddy Jack. It's like he's holding down the fort. He'll be all right,
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, Buddy Jack's just really showing his age there. He just doesn't. He's older. He can go, but
Well, he was. I mean, and he was fine for being in the Freebirds, but he was the lesser of the three.
Exactly. So like when he started going like in these single matches, I was just like, he needs.
People watch the Freebirds to watch Michael and Terry. So,
hey, but that's why you need stables.
That's right. That's right. So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Again, stay tuned to the YouTube channel. In about half hour, the video with Jay Lethal premieres. So check that out. Of course, you'll hear this tomorrow night on the Horn, 10 p.m. Central, and it'll be up on podcast late tonight or early in the morning. But for now, for Justin, I'm Sue. Thanks so much for join us. We'll see you next week.